Okay, hello and welcome to today's video. So today I'm going to be talking about the name of the next Zelda, the sequel to Breath of the Wild, and what I think it could be exactly. So recently there was a rumour, or leak, or whatever you want to call it, released on 4chan, talking about the name of the game, the release window, and even the general plot synopsis, you know? Now, I won't be going into the plot synopsis or the release window, they were just basic sort of things, you know, but the name was sort of interesting. The name that they said it would have is The Legend of Zelda Breath of Darkness. Now, firstly, you do need to bear in mind it is 4chan, so probably isn't right, but I decided I'd talk about it anyway. Personally, I don't think this name's going to be right, because, well, as I said, it is 4chan. Secondly, it does feel kind of like cringy and just like, it doesn't feel like something Nintendo would do, you know? Editing the previous name to make a new one. It just doesn't feel right, so right off the bat I'm going to say no, I don't think that is going to be the name at all, but regardless, it's a nice opportunity to talk about what the name could be. Or at least to the degree that we can at this point in time. Like, we've not had much on the game at all so far. Literally less than a minute worth of trailer, I guess. Well, technically more than a minute if you include the bit at the end where it just shows some text saying the sequel's in development, but regardless, less than a minute worth of trailer. So, what could the new game be? Well, I feel we need to look into the past at what the names have been previously, so putting Breath of the Wild out of the picture, the name's always based on a key plot point or item like Ocarina of Time, Skyward Sword, Majora's Mask, such forth. Now, if we're looking into it like this, the first question to ask is, will it take this route again, or not? Because Breath of the Wild did not take that route. As you can no doubt tell. There is not an item or anything called Breath of the Wild in it, and there is not an event where there is some breath which is wild, either. The reason why they chose it was because they felt it described the overall open worldness and way the game works, you know? But I feel that if this is a sequel to Breath of the Wild, the game will work very similarly in that way, and, you know, it would invoke the same sort of feeling, and they couldn't just name it Breath of the Wild again, could they? So, I don't necessarily think that they would do that. And, like, they might be able to find some way of creating a similar name but in a different way, but I don't necessarily think that could happen. I feel like they're trying to bring more of the old Zelda stuff back to satisfy fans, like dungeons and items, hopefully. Or at the very least, improving the bosses. And if this is the case, I think they might go back with the name too. It would be easier to go back on the name, because Breath of the Wild's name, as I said, was based on the way the game worked with the open world, which presumably Breath of the Wild 2 will take as well. So, let's say they are going back on the original name styling. The original name stylings were based on items or events, I guess you could say, like A Link to the Past. That's what I'm classing under an event. It's A Link to the Past. A Link to the Past name is kind of odd, to be honest, but you get what I mean. Or Adventure of Link, say, like A Link to the Past. Triforce Heroes. There's 3 heroes. But then there's the item-based ones, Ocarina of Time, Skyward Sword, which I mentioned before. So, which do I think it could use? It could use either, for starters, but I feel like the event before. So, saying event within large quotation marks, obviously, once again, it's not really an event, it's just an overall sort of description of what happens across the game, like Link as an adventure, or there are 3 heroes, and such forth. But anyway, I think this because, well, process of elimination, I guess you could say. I don't necessarily think the items sort of one would work. Mainly because I feel like with the items, they're going to go with a similar approach to what they did with the runes. Except this time, maybe using this green energy that we've seen. Obviously that's speculation, but it seems the most likely option based on the knowledge we have so far, and saying it is true, then, or at least that the item's going to be like runes. I mean, we could have classical items but used like runes, as in via green energy or something, but regardless, I don't think there'll be a main item. I think the main thing will be the green energy, and I just don't see them calling it The Legend of Zelda Green Energy. Or The Legend of Zelda, Ancient Floating Gerudo Alphabet, you know? So I think it could be more something in regards to what actually happens. A monumentous event, like, I don't know, the Revival of Ganondorf, or the Dark Curse, I don't know. Both of those sound kinda bad as well, but something along those lines, you know. That's what I think we might be getting for the name. I don't know though, as I said, it's kinda hard to tell at this point. But that's all I can think of when looking into it at this point. I've also mentioned the 4chan leak, rumour, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, thank you for watching this short little video. What are your thoughts on the topic? Make sure to let me know down below. Maybe even some predicted names. See if any of us can guess it right for the final thing. In fact, if we're going along that line, I'm going to guess that it'll be called The Legend of Zelda The Dark Awakening. That's probably completely wrong, but I just plucked out of my head right now on here. Not scripted or anything, so yeah, there you go. Anyway, as I said, thank you all for watching so very much. I'm kind of speaking weirdly now, I'm just going to end it here. Bye.